Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community. I'm your host, Nico, and joined with me today, as always, is my co-host, Chris. How you doing, man?
Hey, doing good. How's everybody?
No, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Here to talk about some comics. You know how it goes, man. Another great week of comics came and went already, and here we are once again, guys. If this is your first time checking it out and you like what you saw here today, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up, that like button, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified whenever these videos go live. You can also follow us on Instagram at Late Night Collectors Community. I think I'm actually going to be dropping a new comic book haul and review video, as I do. Like, I try to do those monthly where I show off some of the collected editions that I pick up throughout the month that I've read as well, and give kind of quick thoughts on them. So make sure you're subscribed and follow us or hit the notification bell to be notified of when that video goes live, as well as these videos as they go live every week. Also spoiler warning here today, guys. We're gonna be talking about the books. We're gonna be talking about some of the things that happen in these books, so be forewarned. We're gonna be showing off some art, some big spoilers we try to stay away from, but sometimes if we want to really get into it, we talk about them. So if you're afraid of getting spoiled about something, maybe read your books. Make sure you read them before you come check us out, and then you can always find our shows in the playlist there. And the new comics for the week of September 28th, 2022 are the books that we'll be talking about this week. And I think that's about it, man. Chris?
I just had a question for you. I was looking through some of the old playlists, and you have your late night at the movies. Some of those were getting pretty big hits. Is that for real, or was that a different channel?
No, those are for real. There is a lot of people that mistakenly come across those episodes, possibly thinking they are the movies that are uploaded to YouTube. So I think some of the
Hey, that works. But there's some big numbers on those, so maybe check out some of the late night at the movies. But anyways, we're here to talk comics, so let's talk comics.
That's right. Shout out to the Late Night Chat Network, of course, though, guys. That is where you can find that show and a bunch of other great stuff. Chris has been a guest over there as well. That's where we basically originally started, guys. This is the spinoff here, the spinoff site here. So yes, let's talk some comics, Chris. All right. First up on the docket here today, guys, we got DC versus Vampires number 9. Yeah, I got my copy right here as well. Let's bring up some art here for you guys. Chris, what did you think of this one, man?
Hey, I thought this was a pretty good issue. You still got some surprises ready to roll, and I kind of liked how there's, just jumping from story to story to keep things moving and didn't get bogged down too much in one storyline, I guess. But that Black Manta, that floored me there. The reveal, I don't know if you want to talk about it there, but that was pretty good.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, it turns out to be Mera, and they're facing off against Aquaman, who's a vampire now. They're split up. I think we're following about 3 different groups of heroes that are split up in different parts of the world at this point in the story. I will say the one thing that kind of got to me though in this issue is that there's some very I don't mind when they throw some obscure characters in the mix, but there's some very obscure characters in this. Like those first guys, hold on, I just flipped past the art earlier. I don't even know who these guys were, quite honestly. I'm not familiar with who this was, and maybe that's on me, but I don't know. I think the average reader possibly wouldn't know who those guys are. I think the guy at the end was Blue Devil, if I'm not mistaken, but like a very juiced up version of him. But there's we're I don't know if it's because half of all the big characters are vampires now are dead in this comic, as we've progressed through 8 issues already of this thing. But in this issue, I think I'm finally feeling it. Even to some, Frankenstein there, Agent of Shade, this dude could be an obscure character, right? I mean, there's some fun people in here, but I just think in this one, I was feeling it where at points where I'm like, I feel like they could be using some bigger guys here. I don't know. I don't mind when they use smaller characters. I actually really like that when they sometimes bust out some people we haven't seen in a while or people that are new to me. Especially, for a comic company has probably such a rich history of different, Cole Cashier, that's Grifter. That was cool. I don't know if everybody knows Grifter, but this was Grifter.
Well, that was Grifter in the jail with Green Arrow. That Green Arrow stuff was great too. I love that.
That's awesome. The Green Arrow stuff was my favorite part about this issue, quite frankly. Yeah, but so you didn't even know that's Cole Cash. That's who that is. That's his name, Grifter. So that's the only thing I felt like it could have been a little bit better. They could have, but I guess they're for the people that get it, you're gonna maybe enjoy it that much more, that know who some of these people are, and then for the people that don't, you might be scratching your head a little bit, but it still was an all right issue. I think I didn't realize that in this one there was a couple people even I didn't know, and I'm just like, it kind of takes away from some of the enjoyment for me sometimes.
Yeah, it's got one question. So Damian Wayne is a vampire, but he can fight the urge, I guess. Is that what's going on there, or did something happen to him?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's been helping them. I mean, we've seen him helping them already previous to this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been working with them, I guess. I don't know whatever way he's intaking his blood, but if that was already discussed. But yeah, he's working with the heroes. Yeah, he showed up at the end of this, guys, and you know, I know we seen some of him in the All Out War. I think he showed up in maybe the earlier issue, and then he showed up before we took a break from this like in the 6th issue, I think was the last time we saw him in DC versus Vampires, if I'm not mistaken. Right. So, yeah, this Green Arrow stuff is great though. Like he's really that the art was great moments. He looks cool. I think this is Blue Devil, if I'm not mistaken, if I had to guess, but again, I might be wrong. I don't know. Yeah. So it was all right. That was really cool. I didn't also get that, how there's like ropes in the water. There's something about like,
I thought she was tied to the boat or something, and then when the boat sank, it's pulling her down.
Oh, is that what was going on? Okay.
Yeah, I think they smashed up the boat and she got wrapped up in the ropes.
Okay, that was lost.
And then she doesn't have any superpower, so
okay,
or she's weakened, but who knows? Maybe she'll get like a Super Saiyan power up underground.
Yeah. So yeah, we got 3 more issues to go in this 12-issue miniseries. So what'd you give this one, Chris?
I give it a 3.75. I liked it. It was good.
I'll give it a 3.5. I did like it too. It was good. I think this one's a little bit more inconsistent up and down for me. Like it has high highs and I'm not gonna say low lows because this wasn't horrible, but it's been up and down for me this series compared to some of the other Elseworld type stuff that's been coming out. But this is probably like my least favorite of the bunch, I would say. But when it's good, it's really good, right? It's just it's the most like, I guess you could say like run of the mill, like everyone's vampires or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like the thrill of who's a vampire, who's not a vampire. That's all over.
Yeah.
And now you're getting to the meat of the story, and the meat's just, the meat might be well done when you're expecting it rare.
And I know we talked about it either last week or the week before. We also are finding the same thing with the All Out War. Yeah, that's not that great of a tie-in, right? So so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I've still been enjoying it for the most part. All right, next up we got all kinds of horror books this month. It must be October coming up. Sergeant Rock. This is DC Horror. Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead #1, written by Bruce Campbell of what is it? What's that?
Evil Dead.
Dead. Yeah, it's Boomstick.
Hercules.
That's right. So there you go. Bruce Campbell gives life to Easy Company. He's also apparently a New York Times best-selling author now, which I was not aware of. And you could also caught him in the latest Doctor Strange film. He played a cameo in that, of course, because the director of that is the Evil Dead director there that directed the new Doctor Strange, right?
That New York Times bestseller. I don't think that's such a big deal anymore. It seems like anybody can be a New York Times bestseller.
Yeah, that's right. I think Chris is a New York Times bestseller guy. Have you heard that? I heard about his book, but pick it up. Yeah, Chris, what do you think about this one?
I know you got the Nazis, World War II, zombies, and Easy Company. I was really looking forward to this series. The cover looks great there, but I thought the art inside kind of was a bit of a letdown. It's still good. And, I was thinking that maybe I should have just read this one online. But I think I'm down for another 2 or 3 issues anyway, so I'll probably see it through. But I did like the cover.
Same. I mean, as you guys know, I talked about it a couple episodes ago. I am trying to purge some books from the pull list. This might not make the cut to stay on it either. I might also reread this digitally. But I did like this issue. I actually liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I kind of almost picked this up for the novelty of it because I wasn't sure if Bruce Campbell was going to be a writer that would bring a lot to a comic book, because I hadn't, quite frankly, read anything comics by him. So I was whenever they get like stars involved, and not to say like he's done stuff in Hollywood, he's written things. So like he obviously has written a book. He's a New York Times bestseller. So he's got some chops. He actually did a good job in this. This wasn't very, very overridden, I found, because a lot of these comics, when guys maybe that we don't primarily know as comic book writers come and write stuff, they tend to be overridden like a movie script. This was not like that. I think this was very well done. And I like Eduardo Rizzo, the artist, Chris, but I will say my one big complaint on this book was it was hard, other than like this scene right here when you actually get introduced to Sergeant Rock in the book, like in his battalion, to figure out who the fuck Sergeant Rock was.
Yeah, like who? Like the only way you can tell it's him is get a cigar in his mouth.
Right, exactly. And there was a scene coming up here where they show like all of them in the bunker when they're actually telling them about what Hitler's doing, which is basically reanimating the dead in this, which is kind of cool. And the explanation they gave for it, the way that they're doing it, I was like, yeah, okay, I buy that. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, I'll go along with this. You could barely tell who Sergeant Rock was. It really took me a moment. Like Chris said, there was a guy with a cigar in his mouth, but whenever I think of Sergeant Rock, he's got the helmet, he's got the whole thing, right? And like this artist, he wasn't very distinctive. Yeah, this is him here. I guess the guy that's got his back turned to us in this. That's apparently Sergeant Rock, and I didn't know he had hair like that. Yeah, that's him right there with the walkie-talkie. I think. That's the one thing I didn't think they did a great job of this. The book is called Sergeant Rock versus, you know what I mean, and yet it feels like he's not even the main character in his own, you know what I mean, in his own book, right? So I know it takes it's this whole like squad here, right? But it just felt like, I don't know, it was more set up with the Nazi shit in this, which is all right, but yeah. No, I'll keep reading this. I don't know if it's gonna stay on my pull list either, but I'll keep reading this. It was fun, and
yeah, it was fun. I'd give it a 3.5. It was nothing special though.
I'll give it 3.75. I'll give this one a 3.75. So yeah, I liked it. Next up, we got Detective Comics 1064. Chris,
I want to talk about something overwritten. Oof. Let's see. Well, like it started out with some fable or some story about, I don't know, some old time, I guess, hero there that's a soldier that's, I guess, cursed by the gods. And then to set himself free, he has to go walk through the desert and fight this demon. And then his wife or his true love is basically going around the earth the other way to meet him at the other side. And I don't know what this story was all about. I'm sure there's some sort of meaning to it, but I think it was over my head. And what else went on in there? Yeah, it's whatever that story's meaning was lost on me. But it seems to be slowly burning in there. I'll probably give it a chance. With Talia al Ghul in there, it's always you never know what can happen. She's always trying to say she's there to help Batman, but her actions prove different. And yeah, you never know what can happen when she's around. So I'd probably stick around with this and give Ram V some chance, because I kind of blew him off in Carnage, and that seems to be a story that's hitting or connecting into a lot of things going on right now. So then I'd give it a 3.5 though too. It's a very wordy comic, like a lot of talking and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you got to give this guy some room. Like he seems to be like definitely more of like a writer of like prose, like, you know what I mean, like a person that can go and write a novel, not just comics, right? Like he definitely thinks it's more of a slow build with his stuff, from what I've gathered from some of the other things I've read by him, and some of the things that people have told me about. I don't know. I think I've dropped off of this book. I was going to try to read it digitally to join you, Chris, but I don't know if there's you're convincing me otherwise if I should jump back on. You're gonna
it's not too bad, because there's this group from, like, I guess the original Arkhams, but their name has been, like, Arkham is an anglicized version of their name. They're coming back to Gotham. You got the League of Shadows there, and basically the boat's coming in where I guess this Arkham family is coming, and they have their own sort of league. They're like royalty from another country, and they know the League of Shadows is there, so they're going to let the League of Shadows kind of play their cards, and then they're going to respond. So could be some big things going down, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay. I love the artist, Raphael Albuquerque, the artist on that book. I really love his art, and I always hate not reading a book when I drop it, when I know there's a good artist on board, right? But it's sometimes it's just like, yeah, I'm tapping out. Like you have to sometimes, right? You can flip through it sometimes, but yeah, no, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Jim Gordon backstory, and there's some gritty art in there, and that's a decent story, but nothing I'd really want to buy.
Right. Okay. Next up, we got Old Dog number 1. This is by written and drawn by Declan Shalvey. I was very much looking forward to this. Unfortunately, I didn't love this debut issue. I was really let down by it. I love Declan Shalvey's art. I'm a big fan. I followed his art for a while. He did a lot of stuff with Marvel, and lately he's been doing the writing duties on a lot of different books where he's not drawing them. This is like the first thing I think since he started really writing a lot of his stuff that he's also drawn. So I was kind of like really rooting for him for this one. And like the cool thing about this book is like before you even get to the artwork, like in the intro page where they're giving you all like the creators' names and everything else, they have this little thing about the character, the old dog character. Jack Lynch is a disgraced CIA officer still clinging to a previously distinguished career on his final field mission. And then there's like a bunch of redacted stuff like blacked out. So you don't really know at this point, like as the introduction, like what he did or what happened to him on a mission. And then it's like he finds himself in a very changed world. And when the Shadow Group Redacted offers Lynch a second chance at a life of adventure, he's paired with the last person he could ever imagine, Redacted, and it's like redacted to survive, Redacted. So, and then it says this old dog will have to learn some new tricks. So that's kind of like the intro to it. So you find out like he's an older CIA agent who basically worked his way back in somehow. Something happened to him, and then he's like with a bunch of like other CIA agents, like younger guys, in like a surveillance van, like watching this place. And this guy kind of patrolling the roofs here in the art kind of looks like a Punisher type of dude or something. He makes his way into the building that they're supposed to be like surveilling and make sure like no one comes out. And then all of a sudden this guy makes his way in. So they're like, okay, we're going to go check this out. You watch the van to the old dog, like the old ex-CIA agent, the old CIA agent guy. And the younger guys are like, we're going to go take a look. If we don't come back in, I don't know, 500 hours or whatever, come find us or something like that. He's like, okay, got it. So they go out. They never come back. So he ends up going in to look for them. He ends up finding them dead. And then he comes across some guy that's like messing around with some sort of machine, and he gets caught in the blast. Essentially, like he tries to take him down. This thing blows up, and then he wakes up in a hospital bed looking young. And you're like, what the hell's going on? And they say that he was like in an 8-year coma of some sort, and that now they finally figured out how they could get his body to heal itself. And then in the span of a page, he's old again, like grizzled, like really old, like even older than how he looked like when the fucking book started out. And you're like he aged during the 8 years, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And I guess whatever was in that machine, something happened, and like he ages from like young to old over a period of time, and he's able to heal himself. And it's not very clear. And I don't know if it's just like they're purposely not telling us everything right now, or that the storytelling through the writing or the art wasn't doing a very good job of describing what was happening, or it just went over my head. But by the end of it, I don't know. I felt very confused. That didn't seem like the story has been very, it's not very clear so far to me. And as a result, it wasn't as enjoyable as I was hoping. I just thought this was going to be like one and done secret agent mission type shit with old grizzled vet or something. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, I'm in for that. But this is kind of something else entirely. So it didn't hook me with this first issue. I think I got the next couple pre-ordered, so I'm in it for the next couple regardless, but I think I'm dropping it from my list moving forward. I might pick up the trade. Maybe it's going to read better in one chunk. I really want to like this book, but yeah, this one didn't do it for me. So I got to give this one like a 3. I mean, the art was great, but it just didn't connect with me. And I read a short story of this character that he introduced in an Image anthology prior to this that really got me interested in it. And he was able to pull that off in like, I don't know, like an 8-page mini story or something like that in the anthology issue. And that was really well done. But that was him just running a mission. So maybe like they're going to get to that kind of stuff. I don't know. But this first issue, it just left me wanting. And I'm a little confused as to what the deal is with him. So next up, we got Batman Beyond the White Knight #5. This issue made a lot of noise online. Yeah, so I got that one. I got the J. Scott Campbell cover as well as the Sean Murphy cover. I bought both for this one just because I wanted J. Scott Campbell. It's rare that you get a basic cover from him these days. So Had to snatch that up. But yeah, this got a lot of buzz because of some stuff that happened in the issue, which I'm sure we'll get into. Chris, what'd you think of this one?
First off, I got to talk about that cover. That cover is super sweet. Like, this is one of the only times where the covers look better in your hand than they do on, like, than they do in the thumbnails or in the pictures. Like where it's kind of it's like the glossy character and then the background is flat. Ah, that is so sweet.
You're talking about the J. Scott Campbell one.
Yeah, that's the Scott Campbell. Like, when you pull that out of the plastic, that, like, it just jumps in your hand. I thought that was a great cover. Yeah. Compared to one of my variant covers from last week, which looked great in the thumbnail, but once you kind of get in your hand, you're like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, let's see. And yeah, this one sort of delivers. Got a bit of a Freaky Friday going on in there. And that stuff with the Joker at the end, that was crazy. And I need to be reminded how the Joker's even there. Like, he's like,
yeah.
Is he like, he's not an imagination. He's like almost like a
AI. He's like an
AI. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like basically like an artificial intelligence, like a downloaded file almost of his consciousness, essentially, that he was able to activate, and but as a result, it's only in Bruce's head. So
yeah.
Their back and forth's a lot of fun. Like Jack Napier, who's the Joker's name in the Tim Burton Batmans, that they chose to name him in this series, in this version of this Batman universe. He died in, I think, like the second miniseries of the White Knight saga of Batman, like previous to this. And yeah, basically now he's just in Bruce's head. But they have a lot of cool back and forth moments throughout this issue. Like it's a lot of fun. It's really funny. Along with Sean Murphy's great art. Yeah. What else do you think about this though, Chris? This
yeah, I thought the issue delivered. It's not as kind of buzzworthy as some of the first issues I was been reading, but the ending here, I don't know if you want to talk about it with I guess the Joker in Bruce Wayne's body talking to Harley Quinn, and kind of her response to that. It's like, wow, that was a bit of a switch too. Like I thought that she realized that she was talking to the Joker, but it sounds like she doesn't.
No, the only people that are seeing him as the Joker basically playing out inside of Bruce's head as Bruce is us, the viewer, the reader, essentially. Yeah. Right. So like, to her, she's talking to Bruce, and Bruce and her, he became very close with her after the death of the Joker. And as a result of her becoming a good guy, or basically retiring from being Harley Quinn. And Harley Quinn, she had a mini series prior to this that they put out through the White Knight universe label, which was really good. And Bruce helped her a lot in that book as well. So I mean, it shouldn't come as a huge surprise, I think, anybody that's been following this, what exactly went down. But yeah, they share a kiss here at the end, right? And that's enraged a lot of fanboys apparently online. I don't know. There's other people that are like, freaking out over the fact that this is actually existing in a Batman comic, something that's been alluded to over some time, I guess, in other forms of Batman stuff.
Then they must have hated those black and white preview pages.
Oh, yes. Yeah, because originally he really wanted to push the envelope of Sean Murphy and make this like they told him Black Label was going to be like, after they showed Batman Damned, where they showed his penis, essentially, he was like, oh, well, I'm going to show sex in my version, right? And that didn't actually ever go over well with DC, obviously, because, Harley is a very marketable character, so apparently you can't. That's why I don't know how the hell they get away with that cartoon. That cartoon is fucking very lewd and saying all kinds of shit in that one. But in this, apparently you couldn't do that. But hey, she shares the kiss with Bruce here at the end. So yeah, pretty spicy stuff going on possibly in the next issue. I don't know, man. I thought it was a great issue. I mean, I'm interested to see who Terry's adopted father is definitely going to turn into a villain now. I have a couple.
Yeah, he looked like Chasm or whatever. I forget what they call him.
Yeah,
the green glowing guy.
Floronic Man, or isn't it something stupid like that? Like, I forgot. But yeah, so I guess we'll see who he turns into. But yeah, I thought it was a strong issue. I think the art's always great. And I think it's been a couple of months, I think, since we got the last issue. So this was a strong issue to return to, I think.
Yeah.
miniseries. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I think with 2 issues left in this miniseries, they had to really get to the point. And this issue delivered on a lot of that stuff. They really sped up the storyline. It seemed like here. So yeah, it was really good. So
easy 4 for this one. 4.25, baby, even
4.25. Yeah, that's what I'm giving it. Yeah, great issue. Very great. All right, next up, you got Human Target number 7. Let's see that cover, Chris. I fucking failed to pick this one up. The Artgerm cover. Yeah, it's a nice one.
Fire, her name. Woo. This one's nice too. And it has the same sort of thing where I guess the background is flat, but there's just not much background in here, so you don't really kind of see that pop so much. But great cover, and I thought it was a good issue. I've been sort of in and out of this. I've bought a previous issue once again because it was I think it was another Artgerm cover. And this one, even just kind of stepping into it, I have an idea what's going on. Wasn't too much a big fan of all that singing in the beginning, trying to read all those lines. But once that was done and you kind of, he's still trying to figure out what's going on or how he's dying and the way he goes about it, I thought it was good. And then even after that, when she meets up with, I guess, Ice, and there's more going on still. So a lot happening in this issue.
I think Ice is still going to be the guilty one at the end of the day, honestly, because he's blind to her because he's falling for her, right? And definitely, I think the way that this issue ended, it really now is throwing us as the readers for a loop because Ice and him at the end of the last issue, it's been a few months, like 6 months since the last one, so I'm not afraid to spoil it. They basically killed Guy Gardner at the end of the last issue, or what appears to be Guy Gardner. Now, if they actually did that, by the end of this issue, they're trying to say that Guy Gardner is the one that set him up, like that actually poisoned him. So, I mean, if that is the case, we still got 5 issues to go and he's already solved the case. I don't think so. Right. So I think that's like some sort of a swerve. They're going to let us think that it ends with Guy Gardner and that they've taken care of him as a result, but it's going to be anything but, I bet you. I think it's going to be Ice at the end of the day, but I guess we'll see. Yeah. I love a good mystery. This is well done. This one so far, I think it's been very well told. Each issue, another day goes by in this guy's life that he's about to die in 12 days, 12 issues of the series. He meets another member of the Justice Society of America, or the old JLA, let's say. And yeah, and it's sexy, man. It's a sexy book. Like there's this scene right here. This is cool when he jumped off of the Ferris wheel. Like she's like naked because she like her clothes went on fire essentially when she jumped off of the thing and like got lit. And that's why at first I'm like, she naked under there? I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Her clothes must have just like burnt off when she jumped off and tried to save him, right? And then Ice jumps in the shower with him here. Like it's like sexy, but not like slut. Like it's very sophisticated kind of like sex type stuff.
Like glossy almost, like because it's not like it's some super detailed art where like they're busting out at you. Like you say, it's just got a good vibe to it.
Yeah, man. Very well done. Great art. Yeah, good issue. Yeah. What'd you give this one, Chris?
I'll give it a 4 too. I like that.
Same. 4. Yeah, really solid. Nice. All right, Chris. Action Comics. Now, Chris, what's going on with this cover? What is happening with Superman's chin here?
I don't know, man. I got one here. I got a Zerdy cover, I think.
Okay, let's see that one.
And his face ain't much better there. Look at him. Looks like he's got too much makeup on or something, but we got Lois Lane. I think the Zerdy guy can draw the female visage pretty well, but he's got some trouble with the guys. Yeah. But there, I don't know. It looks like those apples that you put in the oven or something, and their face gets scrunched. But the art inside was pretty decent. I liked it. I think there must be a new artist in there or something, but thought it was really good. I wasn't sure who this guy was, the robot they had tied up. But let's see. We find out here that Superman brought back Warworld with him when he came back to Earth. And that was, I guess, the people of Earth are a bit weary of having this planet Warworld just sort of orbiting around you right now. And Lex is out there. They got a bit of Lex Luthor in here, and he's looking to try and exploit, I guess, some of Warworld's treasures to I guess, defeat Superman, and like this Metallo, I think his name is. That's the guy, the robot guy. I think at the end, Lex kind of meets up with him and goes, hey, we got some aliens to get rid of again. And I guess we'll see where things go from there. And there's a second story that sort of detailed the war world coming to Earth. I don't know, man. It looked like the art just didn't match the vibe for that story. It was like an Archie comic sort of artist, and it had a pretty big story with Warworld showing up. And then you got some stuff here with Lois Lane, just trying to have her moments with Superman before the shit hits the fan. So it's not too bad. I kind of like that they're still continuing with this Warworld business. You have all the citizens of Warworld. They all want to be refugees. Most of their home planets are destroyed. So I guess I can use it as a metaphor for real life things going on. But I'll just take it as it is.
Is this the start of the crossover now between this and Superman Son of Kal-El right now?
I'd imagine so. Like there was no direct tie-in, but I guess everybody's there together. I guess John was, or whatever, he was kind of just in there when they go, because the whole super family sort of addresses the UN, talking about how all these people here deserve a chance and things like that. And I give it a 3.75. It was good.
Okay, cool. Are you going to be reading, if not picking up the physical copies digitally, the Superman Son of Kal-El ones that are going to tie in?
I might just read them online, but I got to be kind of bored to even follow that. I'll follow this Action Comics, though, I think, at least till 1050. Supposed to be some big things going on. Well, it's always 1050, nice milestone.
Right.
And see what happens.
Nice. Okay. Next up, we got another Superman book, Superman Space Age #2 of 3. These are these are 80-page issues, though. This is like a $10 price tag, but you really get your money's worth for these ones. There's I don't know, it's 60, 80 pages or something. It's a fat issue. Anyways, I really, really enjoyed the first issue of this, and I felt this second issue was even better. This is a great issue. This is a great Superman book, for that matter. I'm really enjoying this. You got Mark Russell writing this, Michael Allred and Laura Allred, on colors. This intro page here, it reminded me of Taxi Driver. It looks like the pimp from Taxi Driver in this. I don't know. He goes to New York and he's like, or I guess this is Metropolis at this point. I don't know. It might be Metropolis, or they make it, or maybe he went to New York. I can't recall, but because they're kind of telling a lot about America, Americana, throughout this series, because it starts in the 60s, hence the space age kind of name of the title. I think it goes from there upwards, and this is when New York's really, really bad at this point in time. So maybe it's going into the 80s here, or late 70s, 80s, and so he basically I don't know, grabs his pimp at the start of this, flies him off, and he says to the hookers, where are you from? And they're like, we're getting on a bus right now, we're going home. It's a Superman. So, I forgot where he says he's taking him, but he just picks up the pimp and flies him away, and he's like, I'm taking you to whatever city. Yeah, you're done here in this town. So he's cleaning up the streets, literally. I don't know. It's fun, man. This book, all in one issue. I mean, it was a big issue. It made me think. There's a lot of interesting ideas in this book. It made me think a lot about what it means to be a hero, and the choices that these guys make as they're kind of trying to figure it out for themselves throughout the book. It made me laugh. And it actually even had an emotional moment. For me, I was wow, that was really well done. A very Mark Russell, he wrote that issue he talked about last week there, Chris, too. He's the one that wrote the Hawkeye issue of Avengers.
Yeah.
So there's a part in this, Superman stops an asteroid from hitting the Earth. More on that later. So yeah, that's just an amazing feat that he pulls off at the start of this. And anyways, he's going through his daily life, and he finally he scores. He's trying to get closer to Lois, and Lois is fascinated with Superman, and he scores an interview with her, and he goes and picks some flowers, and he goes to see her, and he thinks he's gonna maybe give them to her and woo her, but she's on her journalistic shit, and she comes at him attacking him basically with all these questions and doubting why he does what he does and all this kind of stuff, and he kind of feels backed into the corner. So there's a little panel at the bottom there that I thought was really well done. You see him with his hand behind his back where he was trying to hide the flowers from her, and he's crushing the flowers because he feels that the interview was going so horribly, and then like, you know what I mean, his like his dream of being with Lois Lane is like going out the window essentially, and he feels like, you know, attacked essentially by her, right? But she's just doing her job, as she says to him, and she basically says, why do you do the things you do, and how do we know you're not gonna, you're gonna continue to help us, and all this kind of shit, right? That Lex Luthor always kind of like gets at him about too, right? And he's like, well, what do you think I should do? So like throughout this whole issue, like he's questioning like what's the right thing to do? Like, how do you really save people? For every person you save, there's another few people that will get killed. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those type of things where he's really questioning what he does and what's the right approach to superheroing. And then also you got Batman, the other side of things here in this issue. You get spend a lot of time with Batman as well in this version of Superman. And, he was kind of like an industrialist guy, got his money like a Tony Stark of sorts in this story. And then he gives that up to basically become a crime fighter. And he questions his motives are different because it's Batman, right? So you get that comparison throughout this because they've just recently formed the Justice League. And in this story, they talk about whenever the Justice League gets together, they actually usually just end up arguing with one another because everyone's approach and what they think is right and wrong, like everyone's got like, like it's different in that sense and what they should do in certain situations. And they kind of question the fact, like, are they actually getting anything done together? You know what I mean? They feel like it should all be so easy. They should go out there and stop bad guys, but it's not, right? And I think there's a lot of like real world type shit that he's really tying into this, and just our culture in general. And it's not like your regular written superhero comic. This one, it was really good, but throughout it, there's a lot of funny bits. Like this one, for instance, the Flash, he keeps trying to like learn how to disable bombs in the Justice League headquarters. Like Superman's like, do you really think you should be doing that here? He's like, what am I supposed to do that at home? He's like, listen, you know how many people call on me to defuse bombs on the Flash? He's like, I need to learn how to do this. So there's like 2 or 3 times throughout the comic, you see him like in the meeting, like just fiddling around with a bomb in the Justice League headquarters. I don't know. That was funny because they kept making like a callback joke to that. And then Superman is quick to mention like 3 times throughout this how he saved the world from an asteroid. And he's like, to Lois, he's like, I saved the world from an asteroid, right? She's like, yeah. So he's like, that's a pretty big deal. Right? And then like Batman, he like gets into an argument with Batman as he's leaving the Justice League headquarters. Batman like turns his back on him and he's like, I saved the world from an asteroid today. he's like, you're welcome. I don't know. So it just made me laugh, man. There was a lot of funny moments in this. And then like, he meets with Lois again. And he shows her you got to like talk to people and you can be nice to people and help them out. And then he tells this really heartfelt story about his father in the war, like how he basically saved somebody like on a raft from drowning or something. And he gave him hope, like in his final moments. I don't know, just shit like that. Like it's kind of rare to see that kind of stuff in a superhero comic. I think this DC Black Label, these oversized issues, they gave them a lot of room to actually tell like an interesting story like this. And I think it's really well done. I'm definitely going to pick up the hardcover of the collection of this when it comes out. I'm probably going to double dip on this one because I think this is a really great Superman story and something different. Gets married to Lois Lane in this. Yeah. And then by the end of it, Brainiac shows up and it's talking about the dude that was the Anti-Monitor that was involved with Crisis on Infinite Earths is coming to basically wipe the board clean of all the DC heroes. And Brainiac was pleading with Superman to come and help him, like aid him essentially to take this guy down, right? But and as a result, they end up fighting each other. So anyways, I gave this a 4.5. I thought it was a really strong issue. One more issue to go. This has been a great series. Definitely check it out if you're interested in a good Superman series. Next up, we got Harley Quinn 22. All right, Chris, what do you think about this one? Oh, let's see that cover first.
No, I just got the regular cover.
Oh, okay, nice.
I didn't get there are some nice variants though, but for whatever reason, I didn't pull one down.
This one too.
Yeah, I didn't mind this one. I thought it was good. I thought I'd be out of Harley Quinn. I was ready to drop this, and I think this story kind of pulled me back a bit. I think I'm in for a couple more issues. I got a bit of a murder mystery going on there for a bit, and I liked it.
Agreed. Best issue in some time ever since that
fucking. Oh, for sure, yeah. Since that space balloon. And then even the art in here, every picture like before Harley died, like she's always so expressive in there. Like there's never a picture of her just kind of looking at something. It's either she's either really happy about something or really sad or confused or whatever. I thought it was great.
Agreed. Yeah, this was fun, funny, great art. I agree with you. Really interesting story about Harley supposedly getting killed and then getting resurrected by the Lazarus pit. And I'm interested to see what happens next. Really, really
Yeah,
cool.
I wasn't too keen about that. If she comes out all freaking messed up from the Lazarus pit, I kind of liked her the way she was. But we'll see.
She looked
And
very
she couldn't and then she was actually dead too, which I thought would be a bigger deal. But they fixed that pretty quick.
Yeah, she looked very Jokerish coming out of there at the end.
Yeah,
Right?
and
So
Kovacs just and then she's back to herself.
I thought it was a great issue. Best ever since prior to this monthly event that we just had, which was not great, right?
Yeah, what a freaking waste.
What'd you give this one?
I'll give it a 4. I liked it more than I thought I would.
Same, strong issue. Yeah, 4 as well for me. Yeah, big surprise. Next up, we got Thor 27. This is the long-awaited crossover there with Venom. Al Ewing writing this one, and Donny Cates, I guess, plotted it, and Al Ewing wrote it and co-plotted it with him. So, what'd you think of this one, Chris?
Yeah, so I got a bit of the Banner War aftermath here. I got a Venom Thor team up. I got some Carnage, what I was talking about earlier. I think that might be bleeding out of that Carnage series. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I like when Venom, I guess Eddie Brock kind of just shows up. Hey, it's me, Eddie. I'm King of Black. The stuff with the Bifrost trying to build a bridge. That was okay. And I thought it was pretty decent. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting that they went for such a deep cut pull of like, hey, here's some demon that I fought in my stories back in the issue 200 and something or whatever.
Yeah.
It was just some random dude, right? That got.
Yeah, I figured that was Sim or something, but I guess not.
Yeah. So I wasn't too hot on that. I mean, yeah, it's cool. You just, you just brought some character back. Maybe we haven't seen in a long time. I mean, that's, lots of writers do that kind of stuff. Right. But basically, the symbiote got attached to him, and then the Venom ends up fighting him along with Thor by the end of this. It was all right. Yeah. I don't know. I think this book has been gone for so long. I was really expecting a lot more from it, but it turned out to be an all right issue. It just, I don't know. I'm kind of down on this title now, man. Like, we went into that fucking event, the Hulk Banner War. It was super delayed, and now Donny Cates isn't even going to be the full writer on this moving forward for the next few issues, as far as we know. And I don't know, man. I hope he comes back and writes the shit, because I'm worried about this title right now, because I really like this book. I really like Thor.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, it's me, Eddie Brock.
So yeah, it was okay though. So what'd you?
Yeah, they're talking about Bedlam's child or something, which is really Eddie's child, because Bedlam is Eddie. And then I don't know what's going on at the end, where if that's Bedlam's child, or that's Carnage or something, and they're, he's pulling together his own hammer.
I think you got more out of this because you're also reading Venom, though, because there's some of the stuff they got into in this. Al Ewing, who's writing that, like, he got into some of the shit that's happening with his powers. And I mean, the stuff, I wasn't confused, because like, I've been listening to you talk about the book. So like, that kind of helped me out quite a bit, I would say, like when he's talking about how he's accessing his powers and how he's King in Black and all that kind of stuff. Right. I thought that was really cool, but I think if you are also reading Venom, I think you'd get a little bit more out of this issue, I think, as well. Like, I would say, yeah.
And I think Carnage, too, because Carnage is up in Asgard, too, doing something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, in his book right now. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, well, you saw that it was both. Like, it was Red and Black, the stuff that was on that deal, right? Yeah. So what'd you give this then, Chris?
I'll give it a 3.75. I liked it. I've been liking Thor, and I'll see where this stuff goes, too.
I'll also... I'll give it a 3.5, this one. Yeah. Next up, we got X-Men number 15. Yep.
Copy there.
I don't have any of my I had to read all these digitally because my Marvel did not show up at the store this week, apparently. Our shipment. Marvel, it's going to be a couple weeks before I get these issues, so I had to read everything digitally this go around, unfortunately. But yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so we got the Children of the Evolution or something, or what are these Children of somebody? I forget what they're called, but looks like we got a new arc starting. It started pretty hot too, with the way things were going, but I thought it's a bit too soon to have everybody dying again. Like, just kind of, and not really, well, spoiler alert, not really dying, Because when it first came out there, you're like, holy smokes, how can this be happening?
Yeah.
I imagine this is after Judgment Day and they've survived, or whatever the fallout of Judgment Day has happened, and everybody's moving on. And then you have something like that go on right away, but then you find out it's sort of a Matrix world. So I thought that was okay. And I guess what we got, Forge going into the dome there to find, was it somebody, one of the mutants they left behind in some of that dome there, where time goes by really quickly, or we'll see how it goes, because it doesn't look like it's going to be a cakewalk that they thought it would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is Jerry Duggan picking up on a story that Hickman did. Hickman did like a bunch of one-shot giant size X-Men type issues during his time on the X books. And that's where they originally I forgot which one specifically this was in, but this is where they established all this the Children of the Vault or whatever they call them. Yeah. Like this is where they established this whole other world of what do they call them? Post-human type people or something like that. They call them in this. Yeah. So it was interesting to see them pick back up on this idea, because I thought it was a really interesting, complex kind of idea that he had during his time on the X books that kind of just got left sitting there. So the fact that Jerry Duggan now is picking up on this and putting it into his main series, I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I also love, again, how they're treating Forge in this book. He's got a lot of crazy shit going on in this book, Forge. Like ever since he first introduced him, he's been creating a lot of interesting things. He's been doing a lot of interesting stuff in the title. And it's just nice to see some of these X-Men that normally don't get a lot of shine,
I like how he had to kind of smarten up Cyclops there a little bit too, like, what the hell, you got this gun that was going to shoot basically it shoots a black hole into the vault, and it would just transport it somewhere else. He's like, well, I don't know, can you really do that? It's not really good. He goes, well, this is what happens if these people get loose and freaking they take over the universe almost.
Yeah. Yeah, no, art was great. Yeah, I really dug this issue. I'm really interested to see where this story goes. They left us on a bit of a cliffhanger as Forge actually is making his way into the vault after he set everything up and kind of impressed the team by saying, like, yeah, this is what we were going to do originally with that vision that you were talking about, Chris. And then this is what I ended up doing. And there's no way that people can go in or out of this, and they're stuck in there. And it seemed like everything was hunky dory. And he's like, anyways, we got to go back in there and get the other X-Men. Like, so like Forge just like made this suit out of like one of the other X-Men.
Taliban.
Yeah. So I was just like, this is some crazy shit. Yeah, man. There's a lot of high concept, weird ideas in this issue, but they actually referenced that in this issue. They were talking about it, and when the X-Men's like, yeah, so weird stuff like this happens all the time. Eh? Yeah, welcome to the X-Men.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's awesome. Yeah, it was a good issue. Yeah, no, for sure. So what'd you give this one, Chris?
I give it a 3.75. I liked it, but I just didn't like that they kind of went to that well of killing everybody again, but not really.
I'll give this one a 4. Yeah, I thought it was a solid issue. I will say though, well, I don't know, you didn't seem too confused, Chris. I think they explained it pretty well for you, right? Because I was gonna say, if you didn't maybe read that other thing where they established
No, I was there. I had a pretty good idea what was going on, but I thought everything was happening. Like it kind of in the story they shoot the thing, but the gun doesn't work. And then those children of the vault come out and they just freaking go ape shit. Go, oh wow! But then once everybody starts dying, this can't be right.
Yeah.
Like, you can't kill the whole universe again just after everybody got wiped out. They haven't even finished wiping everybody out in Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And now the same thing's happening again.
Well, that's why I was like, whoa, what the hell's going on when I was reading it first, right? I was like, what the hell? Like, you see like the Fantastic Four getting killed, like, holy shit. Yeah.
Seen those swerved already in Judgment Day. They should have pushed this one out a few more months.
Yeah. Speaking of Judgment Day, we got Axe Avengers #1. This is the first of 3 one-shots tying into the events of, and I guess the conclusion, leading into the conclusion of Axe Judgment Day here. This is the Avengers one-shot. What'd you think of this, Chris?
Yeah, I read this one online. I didn't pick it up. And, I'm glad I didn't. I like how they had a bit of mix of the story of how they're actually trying to still, I guess they're all inside the Celestial right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's like almost like that Fantastic Voyage where you got all the white blood cells are attacking them, and Tony Stark, when he gets balled up in some of those green cells and gets judged. And I was surprised how he was judged.
Yeah. I think this was okay. I feel that other Axe tie-ins have been doing this a lot better though, which was disappointing because
Yeah, this didn't have to be an Axe tie-in on its own. This could have been an Iron Man, just Judgment Day tie-in.
yeah.
Like they got a lot of stuff in tie. Oh, you were Iron God. If you stayed Iron God for a few more weeks, none of this would have been a problem. But I don't know. And then at the end, oh, you're worthy. You're just too hard on yourself, buddy. It's like, come on.
Yeah, I kind of felt it was nice because Iron Man, he's been through a lot, and they kind of definitely reference a lot of the shit that he's done in this, and made him. He had like a humbling moment essentially, and by the end of this, where he had tears in his eyes because he was just like he felt so, kind of like he's seen everything clearly finally, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like one of these like moments, right? So at the end of this, and how like where he was gone wrong with people and the way that he's gone on with in his own life and everything else. And it definitely did seem like a very humbling moment, something that this character needed. So in essence, I think it was cool that they did this issue for him specifically, but was it required reading like they said it was? I don't think so. And I also think other tie-ins, like for example, the one we just read last week, the Hawkeye one, did it better than this issue did, I would say. Yeah, like I was reading it and I'm like, yeah, I get what you're doing here. That's cool. Like it was.
Yeah, but it didn't have to be Avengers, X-Men, whatever. This should have just been an Iron Man, and that's it. Like all these other ones, they should all just been on in their own and in their own stories.
Yeah. Yep. So what'd you give this one?
I still liked it though. I'll give it a 3.75. Mr. Sinister was good in there.
Mr. Sinister was good in there. Yeah. Yeah. 3.75. Yeah, I agree with that. All right. And lastly, guys, the book that we like to always talk about here at the end, Amazing Spider-Man number 10, which this is an Axe Judgment Day tie-in. Gwen on the cover. Chris. You've been really loving this series lately, buddy. What'd you think?
I love that. This one hit you in the feels, this one.
Yeah.
I thought this one was great. Like, there's some jaw-dropping stuff in here. And that was the first, I think I read like the vampire one because I was online on Tuesday. When my stock came in, as the first one I grabbed. That is another great issue with Gwen. Either approving or disapproving. You always have her in the kind of sitting in the bottom of the corner, either smiling or kind of frowning there at the end. Or like in the bottom of the panel, whoever he's talking with, and the people that he goes to see. He goes to go see what's her name, Aunt May. And she's all happy because she's seeing Ben and and I guess Ben Parker, not Ben Riley, but her husband, whatever. She's there with him, and she's all happy about that. The stuff with J. Jonah Jameson's good.
That was
he's just trying to apologize to everybody.
Robbie calls him. He's Robbie. Did I ever tell you that you're underpaid? And I'm sorry for everything I ever said to you and ever did to you. Hey, buddy. Hey, pal. Yeah. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I got my ex-wife on the line. I got to take that one.
Yeah. I'm a nice guy. Come on, guys. He's just like, that was funny, man. And he Jonah is just bending over backwards to like look good in front of the Celestial. It's too funny. And of course, Peter comes in there and he's like, well, anything you ever did, Jonah, I forgive you. And he's like, really? He's like, oh, thank you, Peter. You mind if you say that a little louder? Oh man, I was dying.
There's that stuff with Camilla. What's Miss Marvel? She's getting judged by a Captain Marvel. I thought that was good. With him coming and say hey to Miles Morales, I think that's a bit unnecessary. But hey, why not? I don't mind it.
Can I just interject there for a second? I fucking hate this new costume that Miles has. It is. I keep forgetting it's him when I see him in books when he shows up. I don't like this costume at all. This new one.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not doing anything for me. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I don't follow it, so I don't care less.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with you, man. This is a great issue. This is again a prime example of I think this just did it better. Like this.
This is another perfect one of Judgment or whatever.
Great tie-in. I mean, some of these event tie-ins, a lot of them are a waste of your time. But if you weren't already reading Spider-Man, even so, I would say pick this up because this is a great tie-in again. of a day in the life of Spider-Man, having to deal with being judged and, seeing it through his eyes and the decisions that he's made in his life and the people that he's affected and the people that have gotten affected by him and everything else. And the Gwen thing. I mean,
until he got judged, you don't know if he's going to be judged worthy or not. And when you do find out that he's judged worthy, you're happy about it. And then he goes, "Oh, I got a gift for you." And that just dropped. My jaw dropped on that one.
This scene,
I'm like, no way. Are they really doing this?
It didn't stick. It didn't stick, rightly so. But I was like, this was.
But for that second when that happened, you believed it might.
Same. I was like, oh my God.
I was like, wow, this can't, like, then he goes, everything starts clicking out. No wonder they don't have him going out with Mary Jane. Like, all this stuff sort of happens in your head, like why things have been going on this way. Yes. And then they freaking take it away from you, like not even a page later. It's like, oh, are you kidding me?
No, it was a great moment. It was a great moment. And not only that,
and then
Norman,
even more, there's just so many layers to this.
Yeah. Very well.
Norman Osborn in the background. He's a fucking Gwen.
And, I mean, they're all connected.
Awesome.
They're all connected in each other's lives, these guys, right? So I mean, like, not only was it used well to the effect of this story and these characters, but also to the event. I mean, again, just a great tie-in issue to this event and an issue of the series, right? I think it worked well on both fronts. Yeah, great stuff. And Nick Dragotta on art, I'm a huge fan of his. I was glad to see him on this. It's been a long time since he's done some Marvel work, so I was happy to see him on art duties on this one. So yeah, very cool. So what'd you give this one, Chris?
I'd be just flirting with the 5 there, but 4.75.
Come on, give it a 5, Chris.
I hate that swear. If she stayed alive and this was like some new beginning with her there, but I don't know, I might have got less, but I'll give it a 5. Okay, I give it a 5. It's good. I liked it. I loved it.
There you
go. I wore the Spider-Man shirt for this. I did. I liked it. I love this issue. And I'm looking forward to the next one too, because it looks like Gwen might be judging Norman Osborn there. I don't think it's going to be as good as this because he's probably going to turn into the Gold Goblin after this somehow.
Yeah, that's right.
Fan of that, so blah.
I'm going to agree with Chris. I'm also giving this book a 5, and it may spoil maybe what our favorite book of the week is going to be, guys. Stay tuned. That's coming up soon. Right?
Yeah, what it could be. Sergeant Rock.
Yeah. All right, guys. So let's get into quickly. We're gonna go over the DC comic book solicitations for the month of December 2022. Let's quickly look at that before we wrap up here today. Let's check that out here. Just give me 1 second.
Oh yeah, while you're doing that, I can show off.
Yeah, man.
Where did I put it? Another variant cover. Oh, here it is. What's that? Fortnite, the Fortnite Marvel crossover. Got a Ron Lim cover with the Secret Wars 8 homage with the Spider-Man in the tactical suit. Thought that was pretty nifty. I don't know what's going on in this. I didn't read it, and I don't even know how they're crossing over. But I thought it was a cool cover, so I picked it up.
Yeah, you gotta like a good homage one for sure. Those are good.
Maybe I'll sell my code in there or something. Might be worth more than the comic.
People do like those codes, yeah. All right, guys. So here we go. DC's December 2022 solicitations. We'll go over what we're thinking of picking up. And as always, shout out to comicreleases.com who provide us these solicitations that we look at here on the show. Don't provide us; they provide everybody who goes to the site. I do like to give them a shout out because
us exclusively.
Yeah.
Well, if you have internet.
There you go. All right, here we go.
Internet users.
Let's see here. 1 second. Books there still. Okay, single issues. Here we go. All right, Batman Spawn #1. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at
probably a couple covers even. I don't know which ones, but
there's a lot. There's a lot of them. Capullo.
There's a lot.
Capullo is going to be on art on this one. McFarlane writing. Capullo drew that one. That's a nice one. That's the Virgin variant. I think that one without the words probably there. Oh, that's a cool one. Spawn one. Yeah. That's is that McFarlane and somebody else? That's not just him. Maybe it's some other people in that one. Okay, that one's very cool. Batman and him on that one. Yeah, there's some nice covers. All right. Batman One Bad Day, Catwoman number 1. Yes.
Yeah, I'll probably pick that up.
Yeah, Jamie McKelvey, the artist on this book, is the reason I'm picking this up. He's a really good artist, and again, somebody who doesn't really do a lot of big 2 work.
Yeah, sucker for Catwoman covers too. They got some good ones there.
Ah, that's like the movie one almost there. That's kind of cool, like the stitched one, but not so much. But okay, that's a nice one. Nice covers. Yeah, nice one. All right. So yeah, that's Batman versus Robin 4. Yes, I am going to continue with that one.
Good, but I'll probably read it online.
Okay.
Probably missing out on a good series here.
Catwoman 50.
Yep.
Okay. I'll take a look at some of these. These some nice covers. Oh, there we go. Speaking of the Batman movie Catwoman, right there.
I think I probably could grab that one there. That's Sozomaki, I think.
That's my favorite version of Catwoman is this costume. That's it. I actually really love this costume. It's I should get a commission of her in that costume.
Actually, maybe that one too. That one's a good one. I like that one.
Also a good one too, yeah.
Screw the holiday one.
Batman 130, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
A cover's good.
That jock cover, oh, that's a 1 in 50.
Yeah. Screw that.
Yeah. That one's good. You don't want to get this. You don't want to get this Christmas one. All the Waynes here, they're all like all the Bat family. Detective Comics 1067. No.
Yeah, I'll probably get it.
Okay. Looks like Mr. Freeze might be in this, or maybe it's just a cover. I don't know. Mr. Freeze is always good, though. I like to see him. Yeah, it is Mr. Freeze. Yep, he's in this issue. Batman Gotham Knights Gilded City. No. The Riddler Year 1, number 2. No. Written by Paul Dano. No, thanks. Batman Superman World's Finest, number 10. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Nice covers here. Joker issue. I don't know what the hell's going on in that one, but okay. Some cool stuff. Superman Son of Kal-El, number 18. Yeah, see, this is Kal-El Returns Part 6. So they are going to be going back and forth, I think, between these 2 titles now, right?
Yeah.
Action Comics 1050.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Look at all the fucking covers on this one. Yeah,
I'm there. I would hopefully find some good one in there. Or a good one.
Yeah. All right. What else? What do we got here? 1 second. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 7. Yes.
Yeah.
Last 2. Well, that's a cool one. That's
was that Dawn of the DCU one too? I think it's like the Death of the Justice League. You might be able to open it up, but I didn't know that.
This one, I mean, if this is a regular cover, I get this one because this is that's very cool. They got George Perez sitting in the drawing table there for all the tight ends. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. Dawn of the DCU. That's that one. Kind of like that. It kind of looks like the cover that they did for like the last Justice League issue where they killed them, right? The Justice League. Oh, then we got Dark Crisis Big Bang, number 1, written by Mark Waid. I might read this digitally, but
I think so too.
Yeah, that's a one shot. I'll definitely check that out. I like Mark Waid. So The Flash, no. Justice Society of America 2, yes. Definitely reading.
I'm passing that.
I'm on board. I'm on board with this one. Jeff Johns writing JSA. Definitely on board with that. Stargirl, The Lost Children, number 2. Previously, I said I was going to pick this up. I think I'm going to just read this digitally, but I am going to be checking this out. I think it's going to tie into some of his JSA stuff as well, Jeff Johns, so that's cool. You're not on that one, right, Chris?
No.
Deceased, War of the Undead Gods, number 6. Is this an NWA cover? What? Straight out of Gotham. What the fuck is going on there? I might have to get that. That's funny. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Chris?
Was that Deceased?
Yeah.
Yeah. Heard Lobo might be showing up in there.
That's always fun. Yeah.
DC,
the main man. DC versus Vampires, number 12, the last issue.
Oh, yeah. Getting that the red one there for sure. I might get 2. That's a nice one, though.
That's a nice one, too. I think that's a Capullo.
I might go with the A cover. Sorry.
Yeah, the A one.
That one's nice, but the A cover's better.
Oh, no, it's not Capullo. I guess that is Otto Schmidt. Okay. DC versus Vampires All Out War, number 6, the last issue of this. Yes, begrudgingly. Blue Beetle Graduation Day, number 2. Nope.
No,
Wildcats number 2. No.
probably not. They got one coming, but
Again, Grifter's in there. I like some of these characters. I might read this digitally, maybe. It depends. It depends how big our weeks are then. But I am purging a lot of stuff lately, so maybe. What the hell is this? Harley Quinn Uncovered number 1? What is this? In
I went
celebration.
through just a bunch of her covers, I think. Like an art book or something.
Yeah, it is. This is a cover. Yeah, no, I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
This sounds interesting. Danger Street number 1. This is supposed to come out like a few months ago, and then they pushed it back for whatever reason. This is a new Tom King 12-issue miniseries. Yeah, I'm in for this. This is like a bunch of weird, obscure like characters, and there's some weird storyline that they're supposed to be involved in. I don't know. When they pitched it back, yeah, when they pitched this a few months ago, it sounded very interesting to me. So yeah, you may want to look into that one. It sounds interesting. Sandman Universe Dead Boy Detectives number 1. No.
Nope.
Tales from Earth 6, a celebration of Stan Lee. Is this all the Stan Lee DC?
Maybe.
Okay.
That's like his 100th birthday, but fuck, I don't want to. Probably like a $10 book too.
Right. It is. Yes, it's a $10 book. Yeah. Harley Quinn 25. Yes.
Yes.
Ooh. Nice. Nice covers.
Yeah, there's probably gonna be a bunch of covers.
That looks cool. I don't know what the hell's going on there. That's a nice one. Even this one. Nice. That's 125. Of course it is. Harley Quinn animated series. No. Batgirls 13. No. Batman Nightwatch. No. Batman Incorporated. No, but I might be reading that digitally. Maybe by this point still, if it continues to be good. Probably going to check out the first issue at least. Batman Beyond the White Knight number 7 of 8. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. There's the villain. We were just talking about him.
Yep.
Yeah. No more J. Scott Campbell, it looks like. Batman Fortress number 8. No. Batman the Audio Adventures. No. Batman Urban Legends. No. Final issue, apparently, of that. Dark Knights of Steel 9. Yes.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. Can't wait for that to come. DC Horror versus Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead 4.
That's where I might drop out. Wow, that's a nice cover though. That's
yeah. I'll probably still read it digitally, if anything.
I might buy that cover.
DC Mech number 6. No. Fables. No. GCPD, The Blue Wall. No. What else here? What else we got here? Gotham City Year 1. Yes, for me.
No.
I Am Batman. No. Nightwing 99. Yes.
Yes.
Chris hates liking Nightwing.
I'm not buying those covers. I like the A cover though. I think the A cover is pretty good.
Are you reading this Punchline?
Yeah, I'll be getting the Punchline.
Oh, look at these covers.
Those are all sweet covers. Those are hard to choose.
Yeah.
I think I might go with that beach one, or I don't know what her name is. I haven't picked any of hers up. Or his, I don't know. I think it's a her.
Scooby-Doo, no. Sword of Azrael, no. The Flash, again. Human Target 10, yes. That's cool. Yeah, I'm definitely picking this up. The Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing. I think I pre-ordered the first issue, which comes out next week. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it yet, so I'm going to say maybe at this point. I might stick with it. I might read it digitally. I don't know. But I've pre-ordered the first issue. It really just depends how the first issue is.
Yeah.
Tim Drake Robin, no. Titans United, no. Wonder Woman, no. Young Justice, no. All right.
Maybe a Wonder Woman cover there. I don't know.
Yeah? Which one? Oh,
maybe
this one here? Jen Bartel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah.
I want to like Wonder Woman's comics, but I don't know. They just haven't been hitting the spot, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah, you've tried, though. All right, well, that's going to do it for the DC solicitations for December 2022 and some of the things that we're interested in picking up. Let's talk about what we're interested in picking up next week, though, Chris.
All right. Got Edge of Spider-Verse 5, Hulk 9, Jane Foster, Thor 5. I think that's over, I hope. Miracle Man 0, see what that's all about. Savage Avengers 6. Got Spider-Man number 1. I think I have X-Men Red 7. That's a Judgment Day tie-in. Batman 128, yes. Dark Crisis 5. Dark Crisis, The Deadly Green, and Ivy #5.
What's the Deadly Green one? Why'd you pick that up?
I was supposed to be something with Superman and Swamp Thing sort of doing a
Oh,
merge or something like that.
that's the Swamp Thing one, eh? Okay, maybe
Yeah.
I'll join you on that and read that digitally then. Yeah, that did sound interesting. Yeah. Okay, cool. I like Swamp Thing. Yeah, so I got Batman one, a lot of the same stuff. Batman 128, Dark Crisis 5. Gotham City Year One starts next week, #1. You got that, and also Joker Man Who Stopped Laughing, #1. So 2 new DC things next week. I'll be checking those out. Then we got X-Men #1. That's the
Okay,
next.
I'll probably read that online. I don't think I'm buying it.
Yeah, that's the next one shot. Hulk 9. Then I got from Image Junkyard Joe #1. Which is, I think that's the spin-off series of what the hell is that other book? Geiger, that it was an Image book. I talked on the show before that Jeff Johns is writing. This is the spin-off like army character who's like an army commando robot guy, Junkyard Joe. So that's kind of cool. Gary Frank, who did the cover of the DC horror book, Sergeant Rock, he's the guy drawing the interiors on that. So
yeah, but sounds like this would be a better war comic than Sergeant Rock.
So here's hoping. K #1, which is debut issue of a new series drawn by the artist of Deadly Class, Wes Craig, that I'm a big fan of. Spider-Man #1, looking forward to that. And X-Men Red #7, as well as I'm going to take a flyer on TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures #1. So that's going to be a series, I guess, a mini series they're doing with the essence of the cartoon, essentially, from back in the day of the Ninja Turtles. They're gonna try to capture that or whatever. I think I ordered a couple issues. But there you go. There you have it, guys. That's gonna do it for what we're looking forward to picking up next week. And maybe it should come as no surprise to you guys. But here, what's our favorite book of the week here, Chris? Yeah, there you go.
Spider-Man.
Guys, this should be on record. This is Chris's only the second time he's given 5 to a book, guys, and I had to like harass him into it here on the show. So there you go. This is the second time he's issued a 5 out, I think, to best of my knowledge, I think, on the show. So there you go. You got
no Mary Jane in that issue too at all.
There you go. Yeah, but you got Gwen. I mean, Gwen, yeah, come on now.
Yeah, Gwen, who knows Gwen? Gwen's before my time.
Yeah, well. Yeah, mine's gonna be Sergeant Rock for no. I can't even show you the issue because, like I said, I had to read that one digitally. My Amazing Spider-Man didn't show up, so I'm gonna also give it to Amazing Spider-Man. I will say though, this came very close. This gave me all the same kind of like the laughs, the emotional moments, like the funny stuff. Great art, great story. This was very good. If it wasn't for that Spider-Man issue, this would have been my favorite of the week. So this, I got to give a shout out to that. But yeah,
all I can say is they bought some of those facilities. No,
yeah. That's
whatever, like the homage or whatever, the reprints of the #1s of the Batman and Superman. Freaking, they're like $10 a pop, and they're garbage. Yeah. They're nice and all, it's nice to have the cover. I open and leaf through them like, bah. I'd rather spend my $10 on that Superman Space Age if you're out there buying stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with Chris on that.
Yeah, you got a way better story. It's nice to have the cover, but those issues should have been like freaking $3 and, just have basically the cover and whatever the Superman story is. It's nice seeing that they printed them page for page, but maybe that's why they're $10 because there's no ads in them. Well, I guess no current ads.
Well, they used to do these things where they used to do reprints of older stories for $1. Like Marvel used to do them, like even a couple of years back, they used to do these things called True Believers or whatever. And then what they would do is if there was a new release out or there was like a show or movie out, they would put out these great.
Yeah, just kind of, ride the hype a bit, and it's a cheap comic, and all you do is basically paying for paper.
Exactly. But now what they're doing is to the facsimile editions that Chris is referring to, if you guys haven't seen it out there, they're basically reissuing classic issues, trying to make it look like the original, I guess, printing of that comic, let's say, and trying to say that it may hold value as a reprint of that story, right? So I think, and like Chris is saying, their price tag on them is the price of a new comic, like, or more, like, right?
More.
So, like, yeah, exactly. So it's kind of ridiculous, right? It's not like this is archival shit that they're putting out. You know what I mean? Like they're just basically slapping a higher price tag on it.
And I didn't even order it. And the guy said, "Oh yeah, put this in your box. Now you might like it." I do. I'll take it. Thank you.
You're such a sucker. I love hearing your stories. You're like, I don't know, this might show up in my box. Who the fuck knows? I'm just like, Chris is like, yeah, just give it here, right?
I don't care if I got 20 books already. Put another one. What's another comic?
You're not actually a sucker. It's just I find it funny how you're just like, yeah, all right, whatever. Just give it here, but
I'll read you, bum.
you just give it. It's too easy. You're just like, all right, one of these days he's gonna put something in your pile. And you're like, no, I put my foot down. It's gonna be like something you really hate, you know?
No, it's not that. But they had Space Age in my pile. But maybe if they put Space Age #1 in my pile, I might have went for it. But when they give me like the second copy, I should have taken it. But I'm taking other garbage instead.
Listen, Chris, the way I'm liking this series, I'm probably going to be buying the book, so I'll probably give you mine. Because I think it is something.
Excellent.
It is something I think you'd like. So there you go. Yeah. So you got that coming to you one of these days.
Nice.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this one. Always a great time talking with Chris here and talking about comics. So make sure you're subscribed, check us out, and tell your friends if they're into comics. Spread the word of Late Night Collectors community. All kinds of great stuff here on the channels. And in the coming months, you might even see a return of Kraken Packs with the Chat. That's another show we do here on the channel where we open up cards. You might see Chris open up some hockey cards. Tim Horton hockey cards are around the corner. There's a new Pokemon set that we haven't done a video for as of yet. So all kinds of new stuff coming down. Is it pipe or pike? I always forget. I always
pipeline.
On the pipeline. Okay, that's what I thought. But sometimes it sounds like people say pike. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but
well, if you want to see one thing that's been on my mind, do you say by accident or on accident?
By accident.
Yeah, like where's this on accident come from?
I don't know.
Is that something new or what? Am I just out?
I think that's new. I know that's new slang. Yeah, I think that's yeah. I agree.
Nothing's on accident. It's by accident. Something happened on accident. What the hell does that mean? Is there accident on it? No, get out of here.
There you go. Chris's final thoughts for you guys.
Shaking my head at the clouds.
Old man, get off my lawn. You gosh darn kids. All right, there you have it, guys. I just got the title of this episode. All right, I think I'm red in the face enough here, so it's time to sign off. I'm getting hot in this room here. All right, guys.
All right, see you next week.
Later.